Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble.
Dave Allen.
Hey folks, good Tuesday morning to you from the Parmar Stores studio. It's Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, the Voice of Charleston, WCHS. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. We're brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Toyota. Come check out the new Camry, Corolla, RAV4, and more. They're not just selling cars, they're creating unforgettable adventures. Click or come by Thornhill Toyota, WV.com, or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. And we do the show from the Parmar Store studio. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Parmar, more than just convenience stores, though. Parmar, several grocery stores, including the IGA Express on Greenbrier Street in Charleston, 2 grocery stores in Clay County, restaurants, too, including the Burger Cart in Smithers, the Donut Spot in Buchanan, Mountaineer Tap House in Morgantown, and several others thrown in there as well, even in the U-Haul business. For more information, visit Parmar. The all-new website is parmarstores.com. And remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. We've all heard this controversy about the budgetary crisis at West Virginia University, $45 million in debt. There's a website that looks into things going on at colleges. It's called College Fix. And they discovered that in the midst of all of this budget problems at West Virginia University, they got somebody there that's making about $235,000 a year, which is 298% more than what the average WVU employee gets paid. And I'm not talking about somebody that is the president of the university. I'm going to get into the stories. A guy named Matt Lamb that runs this is actually an editor with this website. It's called College Fix. We're going to talk to him coming up a little bit later on. Also, if you're an NFL fan, this story from this gentleman out of Shepherd University, Martinsburg High School, by the name of Tyson Badgett. He is a starting quarterback, at least now, for the Chicago Bears. He's lighting it up, and everybody's around the country said, where the heck is Shepherd University and where is Martinsburg, West Virginia? Well, Joe Bricado from Metro News has been following the story closely. He's going to join us to talk about that. Plus, your calls and text are welcome too. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858 and the text line from Fruth 304-935-5008. It's just a couple days away now from the 17th annual Trick or Beat, powered by Todd Judy Motors, Gilmar Ballpark Thursday night. Woody Woods from the Beat is with us right now. Woody, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, big dog. How you doing, sir?
I am doing well, man. 17 years. This is the 17th annual Trick or Beat, powered by Todd Judy Motors. Seems like it was just yesterday, doesn't it?
Man, to you it might seem like yesterday. To me, seems like 17 years in the making, my brother. But it's a beautiful thing. First, I want to congratulate you. You know you can smell money from a mile away when they changed the name of a show. It's now the Dave Allen Show. Congratulations, my friend.
Well, thank you. And as I said yesterday on the show, and I already got a text about it, somebody said, what happened to 580 Live? What did I miss? Absolutely nothing, just a name change. And about that smelling money part, man, are you really going to talk about somebody making money, Woodrow? I mean, come on. You, of all people?
I got 5 kids and a grandchild. I got to be out every day and make money.
I understand. Tell us about Trick or Beat and how the whole thing came about going back all those years ago.
Man, 17 years ago, ex-co-worker of mine, still a friend of mine, Lisa Lee, came up with something. She had a little, actually her son is in college now. That is crazy. He's at Marshall. Go Herd.
Yeah.
She's like, we need to do something that's safe and well lit. So we hooked up with the ballpark. It was power back then, and we've been going 17 years. I never thought an event like this will go 17 years, but it's rolling. It's happening this Thursday at Gomar Ballpark. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, Dave, literally my phone hasn't stopped about tickets. Now, here's the thing about the tickets. They are absolutely free. We do not charge for this event, but we got to keep a count on how many kids that's going to come up, because we did it one year and it was like 5,000-6,000 kids and we didn't have enough candy. That wasn't right. So now we cut it off at 3,000 kids.
3,000.
I hate to 3,000. It would be 3,000 kids over at Gomar Ballpark.
Right.
That we have 2 sessions now. The first session, all the tickets are gone. The second session, Dave, we got a few left. When I say a few, I'm talking about 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Like, it's less than 100. So it's close to another sellout. Now, I don't know. What do we call it, a sellout if it's free, or what are you?
I mean, you could say, well, I don't know. I mean, you're the promoter. You tell me. I don't know. But I mean, and it's important to know, this is why we do the tickets, because people, and I've been here for 3 years, but I followed this, going back years and years. I heard about it, and people said, well, why do you have tickets for a free event? This is why you have to have tickets for a free event, because if everybody showed up, we'd be completely out of candy. I mean, and so the first session is done, is what you're saying, right?
Yes, sir. The first session, those tickets are gone, and the second session, we got a few left. And if we don't do tickets, we'll be there to the event is Thursday. We'll probably be there to Saturday morning. Like, it'll be a 3-day marathon. We love the interest in it. We love how people support this. We love the community. I think we got over like 30 vendors that's going to be there passing out candy. And Dave, the best part about this, my friend,
yes, sir,
we don't have like back in the day you might get a Tootsie Roll or an apple, or some people might even give you a piece of pie or something. You go walk around the neighborhood. We got the good candy. We got the big candy bars, the Snickers, the Skittles, the Reese Cups. Like, this event has won multiple awards for the best promotion in the state,
yes,
radio-wise. So we're going to stand on that, man. I think this is the best promotion that any radio station has done in the 23 years I've been in Charleston, and we just gonna make it bigger and better, my brother. And
my producer Ryan Nicholson is in there, literally licking the glass on the studio right now. When you start talking about candy, he's suddenly his Thursday night freed up. He's good. He's going to be there. So you said there's a limited number of tickets. Where do people get tickets?
You can get tickets at any Todd Judy Motors location. I think they got 3. They got one in Marmet, one in St. Albans, and one on Charleston's west side,
yes, sir,
Patrick Street. Then you can get them at our radio station, 1111 Virginia Street East. And we just did we just put some tickets in Element Federal Credit Union. I think they got a couple locations that they got limited amount of tickets also. So you go to Element Federal Credit Union and get those tickets. If I were you, get your tickets today. Now, parents, you don't need tickets because we're not giving you candy.
No.
It's just your kids. So don't go grab 15 tickets and you only got 5 kids. So please keep in mind, there's a lot of kids in our listening area.
Yeah.
So just grab the tickets you need for your child, please, or your children, please.
And our listening area just tripled over the last couple of months when we moved the beat from 98.7 to 107.3. So now, I mean, people can always listen online or on the app or whatever, but now people are listening to your station, the station of you and Act Right and all the others. They're listening in Huntington now. They're listening in Logan. I mean, they're listening in all these places right now. Well, you're out there, man.
Man, I love it, man. I expect to see new faces, and that's why I've been in. I mean, it's not about me. That's why we've been in radio for a long time, to do this community work, man. It seems like it's an easy thing to the regular eye, but it's a lot of work behind the scenes, not just by me, the whole entire staff at our radio station. We bust our butts to make sure this is a fun, well lit. We got Papa John's Pizza. It's just probably one of the best parties that you're going to see with young folks in our state. And it's going down Thursday. I'm excited, my brother.
And there's no way that we could pull this off, Woody, without the other sponsors. You know, you mentioned the folks at Todd Judy Motors, but there's so many others. Solango Law, A to Z Outlet, New Beginning Learning Academy, IHOP, the Charleston Police Department, Goodwill, West Virginia Eye Consultants, Family Care Health Centers, Doug Scaff, West Virginia Health Right, Norfolk Southern, 10 and 10 Inc., Polka Valley Bank, Charleston Child Care Learning Center, Kitteroos, ACES Coalition of Charleston, just to name a few. And that's a list I put together over the weekend. There's probably more has been added since then, Woodrow.
No doubt, man. We got to give a shout out to the city of Charleston, to our great mayor. She's like, yo, I'm going to be there. So, how the mayor, like, we passed out a lot of candy at our booth, but I bet you the city of Charleston probably passed out about at least $5,000 worth of candy. They got to slow her down. Miss Tina got to slow the mayor down like, yo, mayor, we got another session. But that's what she does, man. So shout out to the city of Charleston. And we're excited. I'm really excited because this is our first time doing this under the 107.3 umbrella. So we're going to see a lot of new young folks walk through Gomar Ballpark this Thursday.
And we hope so. Quickly, I'm going to let you get a little plug in for the beat. I mean, as I said, for years, 98.7 was a staple. We did some moving around. We gave you more power, you and the guys over there, and Dee Dee, of course, and everybody. So talk about what the buzz has been about the beat since we upped your power by about 8,000%.
The biggest thing is bringing DJ Ackright back. Man.
Yes, sir.
He's really in the community. He's like my little brother, man. I've seen him grow so much. And coming up November 1st, if I can plug this, DJ Ackright is going to pay somebody mortgage or rent for the entire year. That's going to start November 1st. On 107.3, DJ Ackright is going to chill your bills, and we're going to pay somebody mortgage or rent for a year. So, man, we got DJ Ackright from 10 to 3. Of course, me, 3 to 7. You got Dee Dee in the morning from 6 to 10. Then we put on this new night show. It's called Posted on the Corner with DJ Incognito and DJ Mrs. from 7 to midnight, man. So we rolling. And you got G-Money on the weekend. So we rolling, brother.
A quick text here says, capacity crowd is a good alternative to sold out for no charge events.
Whoever said that, tell them they're hired.
You're hired. You're hired. Hey, and I think we're going to have somebody on to talk about this again on Thursday. Maybe DJ Ackright, or we'll see. We'll have somebody from the beat on there. Woody, I appreciate you being here. Again, the first segment, session is sold out. Only a few. You're going to need to get those tickets today at any of those locations that you mentioned. Come to the studio here, 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston, any Todd Judy location, or the Element folks. I mean, just get those tickets, but get them today. Parents don't need tickets, but kids do. So if a parent comes in, Woody, and they got 3 kids, they need 3 tickets. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we get off here, too,
yes,
I just want to give a shout out to Tyson Bajent from Martinsburg. If you don't know, I lived in Martinsburg for 4 years, and literally his house was right behind our radio station.
Oh, okay.
Literally, I've seen Tyson, his pops, his mom, his little brother, and he's one of the nicest young men that you'll probably ever meet. And like we can see on a national level now, that kid is a dog. He can flat out play. So shout out to the Bajent family, and shout out to my Martinsburg family out there also.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Joe Bricado about that coming up a little bit later in the show. Woody, I appreciate you, my brother, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
I love you, man. Welcome to the Dave Allen Show, baby!
It's Woody Woods. Thanks, man. It's 9:20 again, the 17th annual Trick or Beat, powered by Todd Judy Motors, Gomar Ballpark Thursday night. My notes say 2 sessions. There's only 1 session now, folks, because the first one is completely gone. You got to get those tickets if you're going to bring your kids. 1111 Virginia Street in Charleston during normal business hours. That's where we are. Stop by here, any Todd Judy location, or with the folks at Element Federal Credit Union. Get those tickets, because once they're gone, they're going to be gone by the end of the day, man. They're going to be gone. So you need to get those tickets and come on over and join us at Gomar Ballpark starting around 6 o'clock or so on Thursday evening for the 17th annual Trick or Beat, powered by Todd Judy Motors. All right, we're going to take a break. We're back after this from the Parmar Store studio. It is the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group and the voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
Are you ready to make every adventure awesome? Look no further than the new Thornhill Toyota. Introducing the 2023 Toyota Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. The ultimate companions for your journey. Whether it's the sleek Camry or the adventurous RAV4, we've got the perfect ride for you. And don't forget our unbeatable selection. We've got a ride for every style and budget. At the new Thornhill Toyota, we're not just selling cars, we're creating unforgettable adventures. So why wait? Visit us today and let's make every adventure awesome together. Click or come by at ThornhillToyotaWV.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. See Thornhill for full details.
I received a call the other day from a woman. Her voice was shaking. She needed help. Her husband tragically was unable to call himself, but he had told her previously, if anything ever happens to me, call Morgan & Morgan. I was humbled and proud. And what higher honor could we receive than protecting someone's family after they're gone? Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Danny Jones. As I've said many times, I've bought multiple cars from Larry Dawson's Auto Sales in Nitro, a few sight unseen. I trust Larry, and you can too. But the dealership also supports the local community. Every year, Larry picks out a local school and supports the athletic programs of that school. So when you buy from Larry, you're also helping the community. So keep Larry Dawson's in mind when you want to buy a car. You can visit LarryDawsons.com or go to 418 First Avenue, and Larry Dawson's place to go is in Nitro.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie.
Piece of Meeks Realty Group, your ultimate partners in all things real estate, whether it's your dream home or that ideal commercial space, Meeks has you covered. Contact Rich the Realtor at 304-932-7488 and let Rich and the team guide you on your real estate journey. Take a look at all their listings at meeks.us. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. You know, we've all heard and seen the problems associated with college in America. And here in West Virginia, you only have to look to Morgantown to see the problems at WVU to know what I'm talking about. There's a publication called The College Fix, and they recently published a story entitled, Amid Massive Budget Cuts, WVU pays its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director $235,000 annually. Now, that is 298% higher than what the average worker at WVU makes. Matt Lamb is the associate editor of College Fix, and he joins us now. Matt, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, I want to learn more about I called it a publication, and old people like me refer to things as publications. Talk about College Fix. What kind of what kind of an outreach is this? Is it a publication? Is it online? What is it? Just a little commercial for College Fix.
Yeah, thank you. So the collegefix.com is online, and we are a right-leaning higher education news site. And the other great thing we do is we actually train students in how to write stories, go through primary sources, interview people. So we have two missions. We report on higher education news, and then we also provide training to conservative, libertarian, center-right students that want to go into media. So I sometimes say we're sort of like the farm team for Fox News, Washington Examiner, as well as other maybe more mainstream news outlets. So,
and I appreciate that. Now, it's been documented by all sorts of media, different outlets about the financial problems at WVU. Now, we learned that the vice president for DEI, and to us old people, that stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, is raking in $234,537 annually plus benefits. Now, the average worker, and we're not talking faculty, we're talking about the average worker at WVU, makes around $43,000 a year. The average full-time faculty member at WVU makes around $97,000 a year. So if you're keeping score at home, the director of this program is making 298% more than the average coworker of hers at WVU. Am I correct about that?
Exactly. So Misha Poor, she's actually used to be a delegate, and she runs a 12-person diversity office. Her salary is actually about 36% of the salary budget for that 12-person department, which includes some people under that department are, let's say, the Americans with Disability Act coordinator. So people who have actually a quality job that I think provides a good service are sort of lumped in with the woke DEI chief and her different functions.
Now, again, this is an institution. We're talking about West Virginia University now, Matt, that's facing massive cuts and an estimated $45 million deficit.
Exactly. And so we spoke to Adam Kissel at the Cardinal Institute, and he said that DI offices and officers are expensive and often counterproductive. And he suggested that West Virginia officials, particularly as you mentioned with this big deficit, should refocus on student success efforts for all students and not pushing DEI on campus.
Now, again, you mentioned her name, Misha Port. She's a former delegate, and she is very well known here in the Kanawha Valley. And I want to stress that I'm not faulting, this is just Dave talking, I'm not faulting Miss Port at all. I mean, she's just trying to get paid. So I'm not blaming her for this. But according to some of the research I did last night, her salary is in line with several larger corporations in America. But the difference is, Matt, those companies don't find themselves $45 million in the hole like WVU does. And I don't know that they're cutting positions like West Virginia University is being forced to do now.
Exactly. And, and in fact, the DI things are continuing. Just in September, the university hosted what was it called? Diversity Week, which included playing with therapy dogs, a social and environmental justice fair, as well as other related activities. So, no, I mean, and exactly, I mean, she gets paid the position that's there. It's not like she necessarily created that salary, but it does speak to the broader problem, especially as you mentioned, as the university is looking to cut programs, faculty. They are one of the better universities in terms of reducing administrative bloat, but they still have a big problem. They're just a little less worse than maybe Stanford University or Harvard.
So for those of us that are old and don't understand what DEI folks do, explain the whole concept, whether it's at a university or a corporation, whatever. Explain the whole concept of this DEI and what exactly it means.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been trying to figure out for years what they do all day. But basically, a DEI chief pushes all of those things you've probably heard about: anti-racism, critical race theory. Sometimes they do these white privilege walks where they make all the white students say, how privileged are you? Do you have two parents? Are you Christian? Did your parents have college degrees? So a lot of what they do is they just generate animosity on campus. TheCollegeFix.com has a handful of stories about universities that poured all this money into DEI, and then the racial climate, as measured by asking the Black and the Hispanic students, didn't improve. In some ways, I think DEI works counter to it because it tells people there's a problem of racism where there really isn't. And I think a lot of this has exploded, as we've probably seen on college campuses in the past few weeks, with pro-Hamas students who are saying that Hamas's terrorist attacks were just part of decolonization and fighting the oppressor.
Yeah, I actually watched a little bit last night. I know he's one of the most controversial guys out there and has been for some time. A lot of people like him. A lot of people don't. I don't agree with everything he does, but I'm a fan of the show of Bill Maher. And I was watching Bill Maher from over the weekend. I was actually watching the show that I had recorded last night, and he was talking, and he is generally speaking seen as a leftist of the left of the most left of the left. He is speaking out against college campuses right now for he calls them and he went to an Ivy League school and he's talking about the indoctrination that's going on these college campuses with things like this. And so now if you've got Bill Maher, who's, like, as I said, is to the left of the left, or at least has been for years, speaking out against these things, there's a problem.
Absolutely. I mean, and we just see this when speakers are shouted down. The College Fix actually runs a campus cancel culture database. And we see these walls getting torn. Literally, a wall was torn down in Virginia Tech or University of Virginia. Statues are torn down. People are canceled. There was actually a university that wanted to charge a higher security fee for a speaker from this great group called Speech First because her last name is Trump. And she's not even related to the president, but the school said, well, students might get confused and cause all these problems just because you have the same last name as a president who maybe isn't particularly popular among, leftist academics and their students.
We had a couple texts here to the show, and I want to give you an opportunity to address these again. We're talking with Matt Lamb from collegefix.com about some of the other folks at WVU. They mentioned Rob Alsop, and I know you're out of state. I don't expect you to know all these people, but to the president, Gordon Gee. I mean, these salaries are out of line regardless of who they are and who hold the office. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, in many cases, I forget what the study's from, but they've compared college salaries to their equivalent in the corporate world. And in many cases, particularly among the administrative, I think they're much higher. A janitor at a college versus a janitor at a private corporation, it's roughly equal, let's say, or a landscaper, or campus, police officer. Right. But, the equity, the DEI officers, I mean, most small companies don't even have DEI officers, and for good reason. So, yeah, a lot of these salaries are just completely out of line with their equivalent because there's no way to measure the benefit of them.
Yeah. And this is something that, we're going to continue to see out there. But is there again, if a college, in my opinion, can afford it, more power to them. And again, I want to say, just for me, my problem is not with the person holding the office. My problem is with the system in general that allows this to happen. If a college if their books are all in line and they can do, more power to them. But the problem, Matt, at WVU is they're not. And that's why we're seeing people, and there's been many on this show and on other places that have talked about, we got to do something at WVU. Seems like to me, from what you're telling me, this might be a good place to start.
Exactly. Look, I've worked for nonprofits my entire life, and I've been in the meetings where you look at the budget and you have a certain amount of money coming in, and of course, we're a nonprofit. We couldn't just go to the taxpayer like West Virginia can and just fleece them out of more money. And so I think every position is perfectly reasonable to say, should this be cut? Should this be frozen? Perhaps you keep some of the DI staff, but you cut back on some of their activities, or you maybe have them do something of actual value, perhaps running, some sort of program to help maybe minority students or all students succeed. And so absolutely, I think it should be on the table. I think if you're cutting the civil engineering program or discussing cutting it, that the DEI chief, we should be looking at what do they bring to the table? What does her department bring to the table? And again, no sort of animosity against her personally, but just looking at it from a numbers perspective.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, I'm a big sports guy, man. And it's kind of like saying, well, I don't think Major League Baseball players ought to get $20 million a year, but I don't fault the first baseman for the Yankees for taking the $20 million a year because it's there. Hey, Matt, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's collegefix.com if you want to see more information on this and other stories. This is not just a West Virginia thing, and I did a deep dive into your website last night and your social media. There's a lot of stories like this across the country, and so I would urge people, if they want more information, to go to that. Matt, I appreciate you being here. We'll talk soon. Thanks a lot, man.
Yep, thanks for having me.
26 minutes away from 10. Dave Allen Show brought to you in part by Hudson's Pizza. This month at your favorite Hudson's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and any pizzeria, only $21.99. Find your local Hudson's for dine-in, delivery, or pickup at Hudson'sPizza.com. Again, want to stress that the issue and the reason I had Matt on the show had nothing to do with Misha Poor personally. I don't know her. I don't fault her. This is not her fault for getting paid. Okay, make that money. That's what Woods and I were talking about there. Make the money. But is this really the best way to go about it when you have an institution that's $45 million in the hole? Text says, why doesn't the so-called anti-woke brigade go after AEP? They have a major DEI program. I'll tell you why. The so-called anti-woke brigade doesn't stand on principle and doesn't operate in good faith. Don't listen to this insipid moron. Well, although it's a utility, AEP is a private company. So, and with I guess the power company and utilities are one of those that kind of straddle the line, so to speak. But they're still a privately held company. They're a private company. If IBM wants to do this, if Toyota wants to do this, more power to them, in my opinion. 25 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. Are you interested in improving your company's IT workforce? Well, did you know that Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to help bridge those skills gaps? With Bridge Valley, You can train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. Bridge Valley can also supply graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu. That's bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships for more information. And I've been learning more and more about the folks at Bridge Valley. And matter of fact, I'm going to have some folks, Casey Sachs, who's the president of Bridge Valley, is going to be on the show this coming Friday to talk about some of the things going on at Bridge Valley. Texas had the guest tell you his salary so we can judge it. I don't think the texter, and this is all coming from one texter, I don't think they're getting the point here, okay? I think the point's kind of being missed here. All right, we're going to talk a little sports here in just a couple of moments. This young man by the name of Tyson Bagent is all the rage in the world of sports right now. He's a Martinsburg guy and played college ball at Division II Shepherd, and right now, anyway, he's a starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears, got the game ball over the weekend for his performance. Joe Bricado has been following this guy's career for some time. Joe Bricado of Metro News. He's going to join us to talk about that. Plus, your calls and texts are welcome throughout the show. As always, Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly Hotline, 304-345-5858, and the text line from Fruth, 304-935-5008. You can follow me on social media. It's the Dave Allen Show on Facebook and Dave Allen Radio, or you can follow me. That's what it is. It's Dave Allen Radio on Facebook, or you can follow me on X at the Dave Allen Show. Back after this from the Parmar Store Studio, it is the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
Are you worried about retirement? Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is the premier retirement planning service in West Virginia. With years of experience and a commitment to personalized service, we'll work with you to create a customized retirement plan. WEG.com for more information.
Securities and advisory service offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Are you ready to make every adventure awesome? Look no further than the new Thornhill Toyota. Introducing the 2023 Toyota Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. The ultimate companions for your journey. Whether it's the sleek Camry or the adventurous RAV4, we've got the perfect ride for you. And don't forget our unbeatable selection. We've got a ride for every style and budget. At the new Thornhill Toyota, we're not just selling cars, we're creating unforgettable adventures. So why wait? Visit us today and let's make every adventure awesome together. Click or come by at ThornhillToyotaWV.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. See Thornhill for full details.
Elevators. You take them for granted until they let you down. If you're working to maintain a stellar reputation, then let me introduce you to DC Elevator. We want to work with you to make sure your people get where they are going. What could be better than a new company coming to the area and already having 45 years of experience? DC Elevator is bringing a new culture of elevator maintenance, repairs, modernization, and installation to West Virginia. Don't leave your people hanging. For a free consultation, call DC Elevator at 304-345-7222.
It's nice to know there's still a quiet place to shop for furniture. It's Dunbar Furniture. Local, family-owned, no salesperson will hound you. Take your time and check both huge floors. Dunbar Furniture is home to the largest selection of Flex Steel sofas, chairs, and recliners, and the lowest Flex Steel prices anywhere. Need a mattress, recliner, mirror, bedroom, or dining room furniture? Dunbar Furniture and Flex Steel. 2 great names in quality furniture.
20 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show, brought to you and powered by QC Kinetics of Huntington and Cross Lanes. Now imagine, if you will, living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back. QC Kinetics can make it happen without steroids, surgery, pain pills, or downtime. Call QC Kinetics of Huntington and Cross Lanes for a complimentary consultation, 304-202-5566, 304-202-5566 for QC Kinetics of Huntington and Cross Lanes. On the DEI, text says they do way more than what he is saying. Text says that's WVU's fault that they're down $45 million, not Misha's. Yeah, I think I made that point. I think I went well above and beyond to make that it's not her fault. It's the fault of the entire system. A little sports now for your Tuesday morning. I want to bring in the hardest working man in radio, Joe Bricado from Metro News. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave.
Thanks for being here. The whole NFL world is talking about this young man, Tyson Bagent. Young man from Martinsburg, played his college ball at Shepherd University, was undrafted, signed with the Bears, and really lit it up this past weekend against the Raiders in his first NFL start.
Yeah, tremendous performance, very efficient. Nothing too flashy. They didn't ask him to throw downfield on every snap, but they gave him a good playbook to work with, and he played very effectively, completed 21 out of 29 passes, had his first NFL touchdown pass, so very good performance from that young man. And as you mentioned, the backstory is incredible, and it's interesting to see a lot of the national people that cover the NFL start to pick up on it, and it's starting to gain a lot of steam.
Yeah, indeed. And I've been reading about this guy for years. I had Woody Woods on a little bit earlier. Woody spent some time up in Martinsburg, and he talked about, I guess, that the gentleman's family lived near the radio station that we have up there. But from the coverage that you've done, and Kyle and the others, Fred and the entire crew have done, this guy's been a big deal for some time.
He has been, and anybody who follows West Virginia high school football obviously knew what he did growing up, winning a pair of state titles for Martinsburg in 2016 and 2017, and it was kind of surprising that he never really generated not only any type of high-level Division I offers, but he didn't have any Division I offers. There were some schools that were talking to him, but in terms of a formal scholarship offer, Shepherd was the best move for him, and it obviously worked out tremendously well. Played 5 seasons there, set all kinds of records that you could possibly imagine, and led Shepherd to the NCAA Division II semifinals in his last 2 seasons.
So with all due respect to my alma mater, Marshall University, and West Virginia University and all the others, where were they when this young man was trying to decide to pick a college?
Well, you're right. It's not just West Virginia. It's not just Marshall. I mean, there's lots of other Division I. Shepherd's obviously not far from Maryland. You would have figured that might have generated a little buzz. And Tyson did get some interest when he entered the transfer portal prior to the 2022 season. Some Division I programs were certainly on him, but he made the decision to return to Shepherd and put up great numbers in that final season there.
And he was the first West Virginia born and bred player to start at quarterback in the NFL in quite some time. Is that right? Did I read the 1960s? Is that right?
I believe so, yes. And to be able to win his first start,
right.
That's truly incredible. And what was interesting, and I had a chance to cover his pro day, or the Shepherd University pro day back in March, and there were scouts from 31 of the 32 NFL teams there. And I kind of thought to myself, all right, this guy is certainly going to get drafted. It's just a question of what round. Mm-hmm. So it was a little bit surprising that he didn't get drafted, but I think a lot of times you hear that if you're a player that maybe gets picked in the back half of the 7th round or the last round, maybe it's better for you to be an undrafted free agent because you can kind of pick your spot. And perhaps this situation worked out best for Tyson because the Chicago Bears quarterback position really wasn't a very deep room behind Justin Fields. Right. They had a couple of NFL journeymen, and ultimately Bajan beats out all those guys to get the backup spot, and we see how that pays off once Justin Fields got injured.
And I know some people may be thinking, well, what about Hostetler or Bulger or Chad Pennington, Byron Leftwich? None of those players, as good as they were from West Virginia originally, as Tyson Bajan is. Again, we're talking to Joe Bricado from Metro News Sports. Wonder what the Google searches look like for Shepherd University, Joe, after Sunday's game. Everyone outside the state, maybe some inside the state, trying to figure out where in the heck is Shepherd University.
Yeah, no question about it. They undoubtedly, ShepherdRams.com has probably gotten a lot more hits over the last couple of days than previously. And obviously, that's still a heck of a program. They're having another great year. But, it's also a great showcase for the strength of football throughout all of the levels of college football. I mean, you do have good players that come up at the smaller Division I schools, the FCS level. And obviously, there's lots of Division II football players that break through every year and get into the pros. But it's interesting to see that the quarterback position because it is so rare to have that.
So Justin Fields is a quarterback for the Bears. Now he's getting the big money, so he's not going to be going anywhere. They say, I think I read somewhere about a month or two, he may be back under center in the starting position. Is that right?
Yeah, Matt Eberflus, the head coach, has said once Fields is healthy and recovered from his thumb injury, the job is his. He will not lose the job due to injury. Now, Fields did have a good performance against the Commanders recently in the Bears' first win of the season, but wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. So you have to wonder if Bajan, for however long he remains the starter, has success. Does he kind of win over the Chicago fan base to a point where maybe they're okay if Fields doesn't come back and be the starter? Now, again, it's a high investment that they made in Justin Fields and not so much in Tyson Bajan. So from the organization's standpoint, Fields is still their guy. But Bajan has an opportunity to gain a lot of goodwill if he's able to duplicate the performance he had on Sunday.
Well, and I don't know what kind of contract deal that he's got. As you said, he wasn't drafted; he signed as a free agent with the Bears, Joe. So I don't know. Maybe sometimes situations like this, you're auditioning for another team, on down the line. So they're certainly, and again, we don't want to put this guy in Canton just yet. Okay, he just had the really, and as you said, it wasn't that he had a great game, but he managed the game, and sometimes in football, that's all you need. There have been plenty of Super Bowls that were won by quarterbacks that may not have been the best, didn't really light it up, but they managed the game well and didn't make all the mistakes. And for Mr. Bajan, Joe, for the rest of us, enjoy it because it's a great sports story for all of West Virginia. And his dad was a world arm wrestling champion, too, as I think you pointed out.
Yeah, so you're picking up his story as well, Tyson's father, who gained a lot of attention as Tyson's profile started to gain. During the Senior Bowl, I remember seeing a lot of coverage. Well, who's this Tyson Bajan? Who's this Division II guy that's competing with all of the blue chip prospects from the Division I level? And then you start to see the story about, I believe it's a 26-time world arm wrestling champion. I'm not 100% certain on the actual number, but so obviously Tyson's father's picking up a lot of well-earned attention as well alongside this.
There's like 10 different E60 documentaries that could come out of this whole story. Joe, the hardest working man in radio, Joe Bricado, I appreciate you joining us. We'll talk soon, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Joe Bricado again from Metro News. It is 12 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show is brought to you by Brightway, the Mays agency of Tays Valley. Buying auto insurance, it can be complicated. That's why you need a local person to look out for you. At Brightway, the Mays agency, they can customize your policies with coverages you need and want. Call John and Sherry Mays today. They're good local people. 304-814-2509, 304-814-2509, or visit BrightwayMays.com. Quick reminder, the city of Charleston will have another one of their series of meetings entitled Here to Serve. Now, this one is tonight starting at 6 at the library, Kanawha County Public Library downtown. All city offices, from the mayor's office to the various departments, will be represented. And I think I saw where they're going to be answering questions about the new POTA designations in the city that allows for limited drinking certain times in certain places downtown. More information is available at the City of Charleston's website and on all their social media. It starts tonight at 6 at the library. So here's the deal. Get down there and ask questions. I mean, we have a lot of folks that call the show and they complain about this in the city, or they complain about that. That's all well and good. That's why I'm here. But it's an opportunity for you to have these folks, not in a city council type meeting, but you can actually talk to them at the library, 6 o'clock tonight. This is I think the fourth one of these they've had. They've got one more scheduled. They've done them all over the city. So get down there. If you're a business owner, if you're somebody that doesn't live in Charleston, but you work in Charleston, this is what these meetings are for. Starts at 6 o'clock tonight at the library. I want to get this in, too, before we go to break. My friends at the Benny Keatum Shrine, my good buddy Chris Withrow, texted me yesterday about this. They're going to be doing a trunk or treat event this Friday starting at 6 on the parking lot on Courier Street. This is their parking lot next to the Coliseum and Convention Center. In fact, it's called, you'll like this, Ryan, Nightmare on Courier Street. Now, it's free, and it's open to anyone who wants to come by Friday evening. They're going to start about 6. Free candy. And Ryan, there's free candy. Did I mention there's free candy for you? Costumes are encouraged. So and there's so many of these things that are going on in the area, but there's no reason for a kid not to get candy this year. So this one's happening. Nightmare on Courier Street, Friday night at 6 at the Benny Keatum Shrine. Free to the public. Bring your kids down for that. Also, our sister station, V100, is involved in one of those, I think, Sunday at Bible Center Church. So, again, so many of these things going on there. Get out there and get your kids all candied up. Get them full of chocolate and Mountain Dew and then send them to Grandma. All right, we're going to take a break. We're back after this from the Parmar Store studio. It is the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group of the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
The most wonderful time of the year is here. Of course, I'm talking about football season, and your local Parmar stores are ready. Hey, it's Dave Allen. And whether you need to gas up the tank, grab a bite to eat, or stock up on snacks and drinks for the tailgate party or for your own couch, Parmar's got you covered. Parmar is the official store of the West Virginia Secondary Schools Activities Commission and of Marshall University. happy football. And remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Unsure you're ready for retirement? That's understandable. After all, you only retire once. Make the smart choice and call 4th Avenue Financial. If it deals with retirement planning, you can be confident they have the experience you need. Retire right with 4th Avenue Financial. Go to 4thavenuefinancial.com or call 304-746-7977 to book your free introductory meeting today.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Incorporated, JW Cole Financial, JW Cole Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
Are you ready to make every adventure awesome? Look no further than the new Thornhill Toyota. Introducing the 2023 Toyota Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. The ultimate companions for your journey. Whether it's the sleek Camry or the adventurous RAV4, we've got the perfect ride for you. And don't forget our unbeatable selection. We've got a ride for every style and budget. At the new Thornhill Toyota, we're not just selling cars, we're creating unforgettable adventures. So why wait? Visit us today and let's make every adventure awesome together. Click or come by at ThornhillToyotaWV.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. See Thornhill for full details.
Having issues with your home like wet basements, water in your crawl space, bowing or leaning walls, or foundation cracks? You need Foster Construction, your foundation repair experts. Locally owned and operated, Foster Construction offers free inspections and estimates and has a licensed professional engineer on staff. Their services include basement and crawl space waterproofing, foundation repair, and retaining walls. Call 304-776-6263 and get started today. Online at fosterconstructionwv.com. Foster Construction. They'll fix it right the first time.
8 away from 10, the Dave Allen Show, brought to you by Pinnacle Consultants, the only accredited commercial lab in West Virginia for asbestos and mold. Asbestos was banned in some building products, but not banned for all products in the U.S. Don't expose your family or your coworkers to asbestos, mold, or lead paint. Get with Pinnacle Consultants. They offer real estate and environmental assessments for hazardous materials and air quality. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Going back to the Tyson Bagent story, text says, we dropped the ball on Tyson. He didn't have the eye candy for D1s, and he won the Heisman of D2 football. That's the way it looks. Certainly looks that way. Are you listening? West Virginia University, Marshall, others. All right. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, Friday through Sunday to be exact, the International Log, Home, and Timber Show is happening at the Coliseum and Convention Center. Show hours are Friday noon to 7, Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 10 to 5. Admission $10 for adults. Seniors get in for $8. Students are $6, and kids 14 and under are admitted free. And the admission cost is actually good for the whole weekend. So if you go on Friday, don't see what you like, go back on Saturday or Sunday, and it won't be charged again. So here's the deal. If you'd like to go, I just happen to have a couple of free tickets. Caller 3 right now, 304-345-5858, 304-345-5858. Caller 3, Ryan is standing by right now, and I'll set you up with a pair of tickets for whatever day you want to go, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Operators are standing by now. 304-345-5858, 304-345-5858. Caller 3 right now. I'll hook you up with a couple of tickets to the International Log, Home, and Timber Show at the Coliseum and Convention Center happening this weekend. Let me see. Texas, just heard the end of your interview about WVU. I don't know how much as a texter that Misha makes, but she's a superstar of a person who you would really like. Again, I can't speak for the folks at College Fix. It's not about her. It's not. I mean, matter of fact, I even toyed with the idea. Let's don't even put a name in there. Okay, it's not about her. She obviously applied for a job, and that was the salary going in. More power to her. Get the money. I have no issue with her at all. It's about the bigger problem, I think, is what they're talking about. Not against her at all. And if Miss Poor, who I don't know, she's from the Kanawha Valley, she's more than welcome to come on the show. I do know that the folks at College Fix reached out to WVU for comments from the university on this, and they all declined comment. I do know that. But now, if she wants to come on this show, she is more than welcome to. My issue, not with her at all. At all. Okay? At all. Texas College Fix is all about the numbers. They don't talk about the $400,000 and $800,000 salaries for Alsop and Gordon G, respectively, or Gee, I should say. Nor do they mention the excessive private plane expenses for Gee. Blame for the WVU situation ultimately rests with leadership, Gee and Alsop. When a numbers person only complains about the black person's salary, question the motive. Well, not everybody that holds those jobs across America is a person of color, because I actually looked into that last night, and they're not all folks of color. Okay, I got our winner here. Lillian McCown is our winner of the tickets to the Log Home Show this weekend. So, Lillian, I appreciate you listening and enjoy the show. Really weird story out of Putnam County. It's posted at WVMetroNews.com. A former employee with the Postal Service has pled guilty to desertion of mail. The guy's name is Michael Burdett, and he's from St. Albans originally. He admitted to placing mail in a dumpster in Winfield at least twice, and the reason is because he was running late for a personal matter. So he just ditched the mail and admitted that he did. Had appointments, had something to do with the family, whatever, just throw it behind a dumpster in Winfield. Now, to be fair, he was kind of like a contract worker. He was hired by UPS as a rural carrier associate earlier this year. He admitted that over 200 pieces of mail just got tossed. His sentencing is scheduled for January. He's facing up to a year in prison and some fines. And as I read this story last night, I'm thinking, by all means, let's expand vote by mail. I'm not an election conspiracist by any stretch of the imagination. You know me. You know that. I'm the guy that says, as a Republican, Trump lost the election in 2020. I get it. But I'm not so sure that expanding vote by mail is the way to go. And it's stories like this, albeit maybe a isolated incident, that kind of solidify my opinion on that. Now, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, this guy was involved in election tampering, because there were no elections around that time. Just looks like, according to his own admission, he was running late, decided to just toss some mail behind a dumpster in Winfield. But things like that do happen. I told you yesterday that Delegate Moore Capito was somewhat critical of Attorney General Patrick Morrisey for not wanting to take part in the Metro News gubernatorial debate in Morgantown in December. Morrisey wants to wait until after the filing deadline, which is in January. Well, now you could add Secretary of State Mac Warner to the list of Republican candidates who are criticizing the AG too. Story posted at WVMetroNews.com. Warner says Morrisey is being, quote, disingenuous, saying yesterday on one of our sister stations, Mr. Warner was, that he said that yesterday there. Warner, Capito, and Chris Miller are all good with the debate narrated by Hoppy in Morgantown in December. Now, keep in mind that no one, as of yesterday, is officially a candidate until the January filing period is up. Warner, Capito, and Miller have all filed pre-candidacy papers for governor, while Morrisey is still listed as a pre-candidate for undeclared. I wouldn't read too much into that, though. Morrisey's definitely going to be a candidate for governor. I mean, he's leading in the polls for governor and in the money-raising department as well. Text says WVU came after Misha Poor. She was in the legislature. Yep, that is true, according to a texter. Text says mail carrier throws his life away because he was running late on his route. Terrible decision, says the texter. All right, coming up on the show tomorrow, Sandy Call from Bridge Road Bistro is going to be here. Plus, maybe, Ryan, they could send me to sort out the crisis in Israel, because I have Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin and Senate Finance Chair Eric Tarr in the building at the same time. Now, they're scheduled for different times, talking about different things. One's at 9:20, one's at 9:40. But I am going to try my best to get the two of them inside the studio at one point tomorrow. If I do that, I'm headed to the Middle East. All right, we got to go. Thank you so much for my guests on the show today. Hoppy's coming up next for the news. Ryan Nicholson, thank you so much for the excellent job that you always do. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun.
WCHS AM, W243 DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.